My name is Jacob Clifton. I am currently the fire chief for the Skellytown Volunteer Department. We were heavily impacted by these fires this week in Texas up here.
Yes, of course. I was just gonna ask, like, how have you seen the fires impact kind of the families and the community around you?
So, I mean, it's been devastating. Gosh, I've been almost doing this for close to 10 years now as a volunteer fireman, and we've seen a lot of fire. The Panhandle is pretty accustomed to seeing significant wildfires. Everybody knows of wildfire season in this area, but I've never seen a fire or fire behavior do what that fire did. It was fast moving in country that was hard to navigate, oftentimes moving faster than a vehicle could move across the pasture. Um, it was terrible for us.
Mhm.
Made us feel helpless in some capacities because we couldn't do as much as we could, or as much as we wanted to, rather. We couldn't get to the fire. It was just a nightmare. The people, I mean, yesterday, a lot of what I did was damage assessment while my guys worked on vehicles trying to get trucks serviced and ready to go for the fire danger that we're experiencing today, tomorrow, and the rest of this weekend.
Yeah.
And uh, it, 2 weeks ago, you could have driven this area and seen grass as tall as your waist.
Yeah.
And today, it's nothing but sandhills and houses, livestock, barns, vehicles. It's ridiculous. For my own department, I had two guys who pulled off the line to make two phone calls, and that was to their wives, to their kids, to their family, to grab everything, get out of the house, and go somewhere safe. And that's all they did. Then they went back to work. They didn't pull off and try and protect their own house. They kept doing what they could for the betterment of everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
the servanthood, the emotions are real. It's been a rough week up here.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine. I'm from Amarillo myself.
Okay,
County. Yeah. I know how dry it is, and I kind of try to describe that to people whenever they talk about the wildfires, and that's why it spreads so fast, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Um, so I was just gonna ask you, so about the meeting that you've been having with Greg Abbott, is there anything you can tell me about kind of what they're trying to implement as far as like economic aid or rebuilding communities in that area?
Yes, ma'am. So the biggest thing that Governor Abbott and Chief Nimkid with the Texas Division of Emergency Management were up here for is they wanted to know our needs and what they could do to assist us, what the state could do. The state is big on every incident is locally managed and state supported. So they're trying to come up with extra funding, whatever they can do, resources for those that lost their houses, lost their livelihoods, lost their ranches, lost their cattle, and then for those with the communities, that were impacted, the equipment that was tore up, whatever they can do to fix the needs and get everybody back operational and functional for the next incident. It's pretty overwhelming. Like I said, I've been involved in numerous historic wildfires and tragic incidents in my career, but I've never seen the governor within 10 feet to wanting to know what we experienced and what we needed to continue the mission.
So how has this compared kind of to some of the other fires that are maybe like regular, kind of like convenient in the Panhandle? Like, what was different?
Okay, that's a
Like,
great question. Um, I guess number one, the biggest thing, being from up in the Panhandle, right? Like some days we have wind. We normally have wind,
yeah,
but we don't always have wind in these conditions multiple days in a row. There was 2 days in a row where the wind blew over 65 miles an hour, almost sustained, 2 days in a row. And then on the third day, it changed directions and continued um, the same speeds, which is really what destroyed a lot of communities.
Okay.
The other thing that I would say on a day-to-day fire, my department runs calls all the time, right? We work 24/7. We're an all hazards department. We need help. We can call our neighbors. We have mutual aid agreements with everybody. So if I need two neighboring departments to come help me manage my incident, I can call them on the phone, on the radio. Our emergency management staff can do that. When everybody's dealing with the same incident and it's all protecting your town, you don't have enough resources.
Yeah.
We couldn't take care. I couldn't call my neighbors for help because they were trying to protect their town as well.
Yeah.
And so the mutual aid departments that we were calling in were coming from 2 to 3 hours away. I was requesting resources as far south as Lubbock, and I'm not talking like the state bringing them in. That's just me screaming for help. I've never thought I would call somebody from Lubbock to come to Skellytown, Texas, to help me on a major wildfire. I didn't know when I could get them there, or if the town was going to be there when they got here. But we needed it. The other thing that I would say that a lot of people don't understand on these mega fire days, Southern Plains wildfire outbreak days, fire behavior is ridiculous, and I can't fathom that enough. A normal wildfire has 2 to 3, maybe 10-foot flame lengths, and it moves a few miles in an hour. This fire was 50 to 100-foot flame lengths tall.
Oh my God.
And it was moving the same same speed as the wind. Another thing that happens on these huge wildfires is we get erratic fire behavior in the fire spots. And without being in the fire service, that's kind of hard to explain, but I'll try to explain it. So you have a fire that is running in one direction, and this is the line, and it's throwing fire 100 feet to a mile in front of that fire, creating a bigger fire and a head fire. And so it makes it hard to use traditional tactics. There was in a group, a meeting with my chiefs on the side of a road, trying to figure out with a game plan to protect our town. We set 4 trigger points, and each trigger point prompted a different action, from a voluntary evacuation to a mandatory evacuation to this is when we're falling back and gathering together and letting the fire burn over us until we could go and engage again. The first trigger point, we had 10 12-foot line maintainers or dozers. We had 10 lines of that, 10 blades wide. That's over 100 feet of nothing. It's like a road, a super highway.
Yeah.
And the fire jumped that like it was walking across the sidewalk.
Oh my gosh.
And that's when my stomach dropped. We retreated back numerous miles and tried to do some other stuff that actually held. I didn't think it would. And then we went to back to the center of the town to brace for impact. We gathered together. We said some prayers. We didn't know if we were still going to be there or not. But that was our game plan. And it was a godsend for sure that everything held up.
Yeah.
There's no other explanation for it.
Yeah, for sure. So as of, do you want me to ask? Okay.
Whatever you want.
Okay. So, as of right now, how contained, or I've seen the percentages kind of going up, like 15, I think is the last thing. How much, how contained is this fire, as of right now?
So I'm going to stick with what the Forest Service is saying.
Okay.
The edge, what I can tell you around our community and in Carson County, there is significant amount of dozer line or fire line around the edge of the fire. We have a lot of unburned pockets in there. We have a lot of houses that are still burning. We have a lot of trees, a lot of devastation. With the conditions that we are experiencing today and the next 2 days, we're really worried that it's going to kick back up and jump those containment lines. So we're doing everything that we can to prepare for that, to be ready to roll for this weekend. but I think I would still say 15%.
Okay. That's good. So I know it snowed there recently. Did the precipitation kind of help help at all in that
It's
area?
I can't say it didn't hurt. I mean, it didn't hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think we got enough. When I was looking at the forecast, one of the things that you do as an incident commander on these major wildfires is you work intimately with the National Weather Service getting forecasts, and we call it spot weather forecasts.
Okay,
And that I think that was probably the second godsend when they said it was going to snow.
for sure.
Um, and it didn't snow as much as I was hoping or as much as they said, but we'll take any moisture that we can get. It definitely can't
Yeah,
hurt things up here.
for sure. So just for surrounding areas, how would you say they're impacted maybe by the smoke or smog that's coming off of the fires, obviously?
Yeah, I think everybody got a taste of it, whether it was fire, the dust that is blowing today.
Hmm.
Um, you know, all the vegetation is gone and there's nothing but sand and dirt.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's blowing, as is the smoke. It's definitely better than what it was the day of the fire.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, I'm sure people, when that wind pushed out of the north, I'm sure people in Dallas were smelling the smoke and feeling the effects that we were
Yeah.
off of that wildfire. And again, the other terrible thing of that is people were calling and reporting more fires. So
Oh yeah.
I'll give you a little, just because they could smell the smoke. So for my department, we worked Monday. We went to the Grapevine Creek fire, which was south of Pampa in Gray County. And we worked on that fire from about, I would say, noon on Monday till about 3 a.m. And then we got called back over there at about 7 a.m. And
Oh,
then we worked there until probably 2 in the afternoon. Then we went to the Smokehouse Creek fire, which is
mhm.
the one that came into or close to our city.
Yeah.
Um, and then we've still been getting calls with throughout all of this about we're seeing fire, we're seeing smoke. And so I would say I've probably put more, filled up my command vehicle more times with gasoline than I have slept, hours
Yeah.
slept in this week. Uh,
Yeah.
we're surviving.
Yeah.
So it's hard on my people, and again the grit. We're a volunteer fire department. These guys are doing this on top of their normal day jobs. They're giving me every bit of time that they can. There's been a lot of them that have had some really great employers that are saying, "Hey, just take the week off. We'll
Mhm.
pay you like you were here. Go take care of the communities and go do your job." And then there's been some that have to go back to work because they're mission critical. They can't be away.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's been challenging and exhausting mentally, physically, and then trying to get everything ready to go for the next call.
Yeah.
These major fires. Our fleet at our fire department, we have 12 vehicles. Um, I think we've got everything where the wheels move right now, and it starts and it runs, and it sprays water. But there was a few moments there where we didn't have a truck that would work because it all was damaged from the fire or there was major mechanical problems.
Oh my gosh.
So in addition to answering the calls and going to work, we've been working on our fleet trying to get everything ready.
Yeah.
So it's been unfortunate.
Yeah, for sure. So how far in Texas or how far, I mean, I know it's spread a little bit into Oklahoma too. How far out are y'all getting aid from people?
So this morning in one of the briefings, the fire has met significant federal thresholds. It's
Mhm.
the largest wildfire in the state of Texas history. So we have resources on TIFMA strike teams from as far as south as Austin, College Station, lots of stuff from the Metroplex.
Yeah.
Resources from all over the state of Texas have been up here. Resources from Oklahoma, New Mexico, Colorado. I saw a Nebraska truck yesterday, I think.
Oh my God.
There's an incident management team here that I think came from somewhere in the far northeast. I didn't have a chance to talk with them a whole lot about where they were from, to be honest, but they're a long ways from home. So it's again, it's kind of inspiring to see that that
Mhm.
what we've been dealing with, that there's people coming to help.
Yeah,
So.
of course. Awesome. I think that kind of pictures. Yeah. I think that kind of wraps up my question. Are there
Jacob, could you share pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some that I can send over. I have some videos too.
Awesome.
I would advise to, if any of the videos I haven't got to watch them all, so
Okay.
I'll send you everything I have, but you just might like edit it or cut the sound
We
out
will.
because
Yes.
there may
for
be
sure.
people say inappropriate or bad things. We were tired, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got you.
Yes.
We will cover you there.
For sure. Yes. We got that.
She may just strip the sound completely. She wants to mainly show the visuals.
For sure.
Okay.
Yes.
We appreciate you, Jacob Clifton.
Yes.
So I
thank
thought you were still in Gray County. Just
So
went back home, did you?
yeah, so that's fun. So I'm still the EMS director for Gray County EMS. So we, you know, that's been a gruesome task for me this week, having to wear both hats simultaneously. It stretched me thin a lot. There was one point where I had one of my supervisors from EMS here, and I have a work phone, I have my cell phone. I was using his cell phone, his work phone, and I'm answering like 6 different radios trying to manage everything. It's been
Oh my god.
it's been a rough week. The other thing that's happening with this is it's becoming a federal incident. So there's a lot of federal reimbursement. Hopefully, that was one of the meetings that I had this morning. This fire's met the federal fire management assistance grant. So hopefully, there's going to be some significant financial relief to those that were affected, involved with like small business loans, and then individual assistance and public assistance, and then reimbursement for the responders that have lost time from work, lost money personally because they went to this, or for fire departments. I mean, my fire department ourselves, not to go too crazy in the weeds, but we operate on a $25,000 a year budget. That's the only promised money that we get.
That is crazy time.
3 days into this fire, I think we've spent about $15,000 so far, and we're nowhere close done with what we're working on. So, you know, that's a challenge. You know, we're all fighting. We fought for resources on the fire, but we're also all fighting for the same donation pool. You know,
Yeah.
everybody needs help, and then the ranchers. You know, it's about $14,000 a mile to repair a 5-strand barbed wire fence. I learned that today. I had no clue of that. One of the ranchers, that's a good friend of mine that owns a bunch of properties, like a 70,000 acre ranch north of us. He's got to repair about 140 miles of fence on his ranch at $14,000 a mile. That's a lot of money. So, you know, I need to be able to answer calls, but he's got to be able to keep his property and his operation going. So it's a significant challenge for that. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I had to decline that.
Sorry, Jacob, we've taken your time. You take it. We'll let you go.
That's okay. I enjoy talking to you guys. That's reality, so I can keep that away.
Thank you, Jacob.
Well, thank you so much.
Bye.
Yep, you're very welcome. If there's anything else I can do to help, don't hesitate to holler. I'm happy to do whatever I can. I don't get to do as much journalism as I used to, but it still has a special place in my heart because of that lady next to you. So.
Oh, I love Ms. Ross.
I bet you're going to be writing some grants soon.
Yeah, there's a stack of them on my desk. I got to work on.
See you later, man.
Thank
See y'all.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.